Hello everyone. Today's poem is 九月九日忆山东兄弟 by Wang Wei. This poem is a celebration to the holiday of Chongyang, which is in the lunar calendar of 9th of September, double nine. So that's the name, the Chinese name came from. Chong means double or again, and yang refers to the figure 9 because the 9 is the biggest number within 10, and that complies to the Chinese philosophy of yin and yang, male and positive, female, positive, negative. So that's the Chinese philosophy, yin yang. 9 is because it's biggest. It's categorized as the yang or male or positive. So we have the double 9 here. So it's double male, double positive, Chongyang. Give you a little hint. When you travel to China visiting the royal palaces, try to remember the figure 9, which is the utmost masculine figures under the heaven, and which could be only used by the emperor. So try to figure out figure 9 in the royal palace or anything associated with the Chinese emperor. Chinese people used to climb up the mountains, climb up the high towers, appreciate the blossom of the chrysanthemum flowers, have some special dinners to celebrate this holiday. But until today, nothing left but climb up the mountains. Trekking, isn't it? So the typical Chinese, when he saw the date of 9th of September, he knows something would be associated with the holiday Chongyang, and also something happened in the high up mountains. Okay, let's have the simple poem first. 九月九日忆山东兄弟 Wang Wei. 独在异乡为异客，每逢佳节倍思亲。遥知兄弟登高处，遍插茱萸少一人。九月九日忆山东兄弟 So we know the date is a holiday, 重阳节。忆山东兄弟 So I'm thinking of my brothers in the location of Shandong. We have a province named Shandong today, but here is not this province. The mountain refers to the Huashan, the west mountain of the 5 sacred mountains in China, which is actually works at the boundaries of 2 provinces today, Shanxi and Shanxi. So you hear the difference, the 2 provinces, and it's all mainly separated by the river, Yellow Rivers, and Huashan also is the main point of the separation of these 2 provinces or 2 different places, because Wang Wei's hometown is just across the Yellow River at Puzhou, Guanquelou. So here, 山东兄弟, the brothers on the east of the mountains, actually refers to his hometown, the brothers in his hometown. He left his hometown in the age of 15 and went to the capital city Chang'an for a career. And is quite very soon became quite popular among the royal societies, also among the political people or the intellectuals in the capital Chang'an, because he's not very good on painting and writing poems, but is a genius on the music. There's a story. One day, someone bring out a painting on which is a concert. So he raised the question, what kind of music are they playing? And Wang Wei take a look and said, they are playing which pieces of music and exactly the timing they played. The one doesn't believe Wang Wei, and he called a musical band on site and asked them to play the music Wang Wei said before. And it proved to be exactly as Wang Wei said. The timing, the piece of the music, and that's the main reason Wang Wei became so popular among the high-ranking officials, intellectuals, and the royal societies in the capital of Chang'an. And this poem was written when he was 17, 2 years after he came to the capital Chang'an. Maybe he's get a little tired of the life in the prosperous Chang'an city, and he's getting a little homesick. So he write this poem, thinking about his brothers in the hometown. 独在异乡为异客，每逢佳节倍思亲。So I'm alone in the very early age, 15. So I'm alone in the remote place, and to be a remote guest in the capital city of Chang'an. 独在异乡为异客。异乡 is the other place than your hometown. So actually it's not quite far from his hometown. I don't know why Wang Wei why not he went back to his hometown, because from the capital of Chang'an to his hometown of Puzhou along the Yellow River, roughly 150 kilometers away from today, and just cross the Yellow River is hometown. So maybe it take 2 or 3 days trip in the ancient time, but that's not far because the Tang Empire is so huge, and his hometown actually is almost just very near to the capital city of Chang'an. Anyhow, the capital city of Chang'an is not his hometown. 每逢佳节倍思亲, so 佳节 the for in the very nice holidays. So when I encountered with the holidays, I think my relatives, my friends, the thinking doubled. 倍思亲, 倍 is doubled. 遥知兄弟登高处，遍插茱萸少一人。遥 I'm a remote person in the capital city, so I know it remotely that my brothers in my hometown will climb up the higher place, climb up a mountain, just like me. Of course, he's climbing up the mountains, and he just thought about his best friends, best brothers was climbing the same time. And my brothers also think of me, because it's a custom to put the 茱萸. 茱萸is a kind of plant with red fruits, very like the red beans, the very famous poet by Wang Wei, red beans. And so you put the 茱萸 on your clothes. So all my brothers, they put up the fruits, the red fruits on their clothes, and they suddenly found there's one person missing. Wang Wei. Wang Wei is missing. He's not with his best friends and his brothers. You have read some of the poems by Wang Wei before. You'll find this one is quite different. First, Wang Wei's poem is about a lot of the scenic descriptions, just like paintings. So his poems write something and makes you feel the sense of a painting when you saw it. And when he paint, and his painting has a lot of sense of the poet. That's the characteristic of the Wang Wei. And here he doesn't describe anything. And also, actually, it's the basic fundamental characters of Chinese poem is indirect. So many metaphors and so many quotes to the ancient stories or ancient literatures. And you can find out in this poem nothing. It's direct. 独在异乡为异客. So, 独 alone. 异乡. So it also gave you the sense you are not in your hometown. So it gave you a remote sense because you're not in your hometown. And 异客 also make this sense heavier. 异乡异客. So in the first sentence, the loneliness was tripled. 独 because of the 独 alone. 异乡异客, so it's tripled. But it's still very direct. I'm alone. I'm alone. I'm alone. I said 3 times. 每逢佳节倍思亲. So when holiday comes, I think my hometown, my relatives, my brothers doubled. Here, in the first sentence, it tripled, but it's a little hidden. But here, even it's just doubled because 倍思亲, I doubled thinking my brothers. But when you're reading the words, it's quite straightforward. So you have the sense, the thinking of hometown and thinking of the relatives, thinking his parents became doubled and become stronger. The mood becomes stronger, thinking hometown, thinking brothers. And also it implies he's thinking his hometown always. But in the holidays, it doubled. So you can feel there's still some of the thing indirect. 遥知兄弟登高处，遍插茱萸少一人. Actually, he's in the capital city Chongyang. He's not in the hometown. He's not with his brothers. So he just imagine. Actually, he's describing the thinkiness of himself. But with the first 2 sentences, he has put his own mood or his own situation to the utmost. Everything's tripled, doubled. So it changed a little bit in the 3rd and 4th sentence. It doesn't describe himself, but it still use describing his brothers in his hometown. And a little bit, you can taste actually he's describing himself. On the surface, the third sentence and the fourth sentence describing his brothers is thinking of Wang Wei. But everything is, you just have a second thought. Everything is in Wang Wei's imaginations. So he has so many thinking of his relatives, hometown brothers, that make him thinking as his brothers thinks. So you can feel how deeply thinking Wang Wei was at the time. So even it's a very simple and straightforward poem by Wang Wei, you can still taste a lot from the simple words. So we have said climbing up is one of the traditions for the Chongyang, the double night holiday, and also the put up the red plant of zhuyu on the clothes is another one. And in some places they go to appreciate the chrysanthemum flowers and drink the chrysanthemum wines and maybe some other special things. But today nothing left, just climbing up. And so there's another very, very important tradition or custom you need to know. 登高怀远. So when a Chinese person, when they climb up, first thing is they see the ground sceneries below. But because he has so many literatures, just as we have today, it implies and makes you very easily think about your relatives, your parents, your brothers in the remote place. 登高怀远. Yuan is remote. Actually here, Yuan refers to the relatives, the brothers in the remote place. So that's a very common sense for a typical Chinese, even today. Okay. The best sentence of this poem is 独在异乡为异客，每逢佳节倍思亲. So in either of the Chinese holidays, most of them is always associated with thinking of your families, your relatives, your brothers. So you can always hear someone will say 每逢佳节倍思亲. That's from Wang Wei, a 17-year-old youth, and get a very initial fame in the capital city. So, the knight is a magic figure. Remember the very famous Chinese film, Red Soccer, by director Zhang Yimou? There's a song in the film with the lyric like this: 九月九酿新酒，好酒出在咱的手。九月九, that's the holiday of Chongyang. So one last thing about the holiday, because night also refers to lasting and longer, so it became a holiday to make good wishes to the elder people. And several years ago, the Chinese government made this ancient Chinese holiday as an official holiday for the old people. 老人节. Okay, so this year it's the day after next, October 17th. So try to find some time to say hello to the elder people and find a time to climb up and thinking of your brothers. Bye bye, and I wish you to enjoy it.